Welcome to No Buts About It. I am in Indiana in my dining room. Chus, with the Patrick onesie, is in his basement in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'd originally tweeted that Chus was sick and we wouldn't be able to put out an episode today, but Chus has rallied because he saw all of the news in free agency. Free agency has brought him health, and free agency has also brought us Stan, the Jet fan, who is in his apartment in Steubenville, Ohio. He's also wearing a Jets jersey, and it appears has some green lights set up, so he's really been pushing hard for the Jets, and that's what we're going to talk about first. So I don't know what the Jets players know, but it appears they know something. In the last hour, Breece Hall has tweeted, "Spoke it into existence for real." Garrett Wilson tweeted, "Y'all should see this smile on me right now." Breece Hall tweeted, "The cheesehead did it," and then a bunch of dark moon emojis. And I don't know what that means. But Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero and all these guys are saying that there's no news regarding the Jets. There's no news regarding Aaron Rodgers. So is Aaron Rodgers holding the Jets hostage? What is going on, Stan the Jet fan? What do you want to see happen?
So in a quote from a few days ago where Aaron Rodgers said he's not going to be holding, I believe that he's referring to the Packers hostage. So I think he does want to figure this out, but he's playing his cards right. He wants to get his brand up. You know, he loves this attention. Even though he says he doesn't, we know what did with the dark room. He wants the attention. He's living in it. He's enjoying it. That being said, I will say Sauce Gardner has really been pushing the whole Aaron Rodgers thing for quite some time now. When we played the Packers in the season, he had this big moment where he stole the cheese head and was stomping around the stadium wearing the cheese head. So one thing he was joking about and said a few weeks ago is that he's going to throw away the cheese head and then let Rodgers come into a much more friendly environment here. And I think for Sauce this makes sense because he and the Jets defense had a fantastic season, one of the best seasons I've seen as a fan of this team pretty much since the Darrelle Revis days. So really long time. However, the offense did not hold up, and you saw so many games where it would, there was one game that ended up 10-0 against the Patriots, where the Patriots scored a field goal, and then they only scored one touchdown that was off a special teams return. Games like that with the quarterback, they could go the other way very easily. So I think everyone on this team really wants Aaron Rodgers. The Jets as an organization really pushed hard on saying we're going to stick with Zach Wilson before last season. And I think that led to a lot of complications where the team had to stick to their word on that. For the players, these young players who were so excited, so ready to get into this season, so ready to go get into the playoffs and win a Super Bowl, they want that quarterback really badly. So I think that's what Wilson, what Garner, what all those guys are doing. I guarantee you they have a group chat where they're just memeing about it right now. And they're seeing the news come out that shows this is getting closer and closer. I believe it's a few days ago, or it might have been yesterday. The days are kind of mushing together. But Aaron Rodgers met with the Jets. He met with Woody Johnson, and he had what appeared to be a very positive discussion.
So I believe Sauce ended up burning the cheesehead, actually. So I don't think the cheesehead is in existence anymore. And also, I was watching NFL Network, and they were talking about all the free agency signings. They were talking about how everyone's waiting on Aaron Rodgers. And it seemed like these guys were watching that broadcast as well, because Andrew Siciliano or Cynthia Freeland would say something, and then it seemed like the Jets players were responding to it. They're just kind of having fun, maybe memeing about it, like you said as well. Does it make you nervous at all? And Chus can drop in with questions as well, but does it make you nervous at all regarding, like, hey, you guys are waiting on Aaron Rodgers and these other quarterbacks are coming off the board that could be a possibility? Like Stidham is going to the Broncos, Mike White to the Dolphins, Jimmy G to the Raiders. Case Keenum came out of nowhere. He's going to the Texans. You guys don't have a high draft pick. So does it make you nervous at all that you're not going to have a good starting quarterback next season?
Oh, of course it does. And I think that's only compounded. If you look at the situation with Derek Carr, everything pointed to Derek Carr signing with us. Everything pointed in that direction. And then all of a sudden he goes and chooses not to. In fact, I think it was 2 days before, or maybe even the night before he signed with us, where I remember reading this article about how, there's all these pictures of a dinner he had with the Jets coaching staff. So that looked like it was going to be a for sure 100% signed deal, and that didn't fall through. So this is a much less 100% for sure looking deal. So I'm definitely very nervous about it. I think the worst case scenario is going to be we end up picking a guy in the draft and maybe getting a Marcus Mariota type of guy through free agency. One of those guys who maybe he'll compete for a starting spot, or maybe he'll never really develop too much. But really what you need if you can't get Aaron Rodgers is you need someone who's going to compete with Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson is the number one starter on this team and he looks like he's going to start every single game, then I'm going to be really scared for the Jets. But for now, if you can't get Rodgers, I'd say go ahead, get a guy like Mariota, or even get a guy through the draft, move up, trade up a little bit, and get a guy in the draft who could compete with Wilson for that spot.
Who hypothetically, who would you want out of the draft? I mean, apparently the Panthers are debating drafting Richardson first overall, which that came out of left field. Richardson, he has shown some potential, showed a lot of potential at the combine, but to me, he's kind of coming off as a Zach Wilson type guy who he wasn't really looked at a whole lot until the NFL combine, had a great combine, got drafted higher than he maybe should have, and then we know where that went with Zach Wilson. So I don't know if Richardson will be that guy again, but who, as a Jets fan, would you want them to get?
So to be honest, no one. Because I don't know too much about the draft, but from what I do know, I really don't like the prospects I've seen out there. I don't think any of them are really, like what we had even the last, I think, 2 to 3 years, where you had a few guys who really looked NFL ready. Even in Zach Wilson's class, you had quite a few guys who were at that level where they can start, or they look like they could start in the NFL. I'm really not that confident in this class. More what I'm saying in terms of getting someone in the draft, I would honestly prefer either you go all the way up, you get a number 2 and number 3 type of pick, or you go to the 3rd round and you get one of those guys who you kind of hope has some upside and maybe he doesn't. I do think for the Jets, if I'm the manager and I'm sitting down there, if I'm JD, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign a guy like Mariota or a guy in that type of range who's relatively affordable, very easy to get, not going to be a whole lot of competition for him, but who's going to compete with Wilson. In regards to the draft, I really don't know where to begin.
So you just have no idea.
Okay.
What do you got, Chus?
I was going to say something. I know you mentioned Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is butt. For a first overall pick, he is butt. Do not pick Anthony Richardson first overall. Listen, I think he has a lot of potential, but homie is a sophomore and threw 17 touchdowns and I think 9 interceptions in his sophomore year. He had he had really good yardage. He had I think it was 2,500. But the reason that they're highlighting him so much is because he had huge games against Tennessee and some of these where he had 450 yards passing and stuff. But then you go and look at some of his other game stats, and I just pulled it up right now. He had a game against the Missouri Tigers. I don't know if he got hurt or what happened, but it said he had 8 for 14, 66 yards. So I'm guessing he got hurt. But even if he didn't, earlier in the season, he versed freaking South Florida Bulls the week before, and he threw for 18 passes, completed 10 for 112 yards. He slowly developed to be a better quarterback, but if you put him first overall, a lot of people thought Kenny Pickett was a bad move back last year. Kenny Pickett had 42 touchdowns and thousands of passing yards. I feel I think Anthony Richardson declaring draft so early might be a tough move, but I wouldn't draft him first overall. Carolina, but this isn't about Carolina. This is about the Jets. I just really had to add that in. I'm so sorry.
Well, Carolina's making moves. They might do it. Carolina doesn't seem to care. Carolina took Von Bell from the Cincinnati Bengals, which is a whole nother thing that we'll talk about later. But I don't know. What do you have confidence in this Jets team with an average quarterback, Stan? Do you think the Jets can compete in their division?
I definitely do, and I think it's really going to come out to the games against the Patriots and the games against the Dolphins. The Bills have been a juggernaut for the last few years. I don't really see that changing. But those Patriots games, both of them were very, very winnable. The fact that we couldn't win one of them was a big issue. And again, that last game of the season really stung because we only lost by 10 points. It was a 10-0 game. Games like that can definitely be flipped with a little bit of a better quarterback. You also have to realize we're going to get Breece Hall back. And we have all these young receivers. We have a young defense. We have so many great players with so much upside. So having just an average quarterback, I think, would make all the difference. And that's why I do like some people are hating on Rodgers a little bit. Not really Jets fans, but other fans saying stuff like, well, he's washed up, he's old. But at the end of the day, an old Aaron Rodgers is 35 times better than a prime Zach Wilson. And from what we've seen, at least Aaron Rodgers has experience winning games. He has experience leading a team. And even before stepping into the Jets locker room, he has, as we've seen today from all those tweets, he has the full support of pretty much this entire team. Everybody wants him. The other stars, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, they really want him, and they're pushing for him. I think you said CJ Mosley also was pushing for him on Twitter. So even without stepping into the locker room, he has commanded the respect of this entire organization. That is the type of guy you want. So, and even if he has an average statistical season, I think the effect he's going to have in the locker room will go way beyond that. Zach Wilson, on the other hand, is a guy who, in that 10-0 match, ended up saying that it wasn't his fault that the Jets lost. He can't score a single point in a game as a quarterback and says it wasn't his fault that his team lost. I don't see Rodgers doing that. And I think Wilson has lost the support of some of his teammates through being a bad leader. A big part of quarterbacking is being a leader, and Rodgers wins that 10 times out of 10.
Are you worried about history repeating itself?
If history repeats itself,
with Brett Favre,
So if it repeats itself, that will be an unfortunate situation. If it doesn't, come out to anything. But we're in an unfortunate situation right now. So I'd say do it. Nothing that bad is going to happen. Worst case scenario, you get another guy next year in the draft. It's better than where we are right now. Because if we don't get Rodgers and we're not trying to trade for any other big player, if we're not willing to give away 2, 3, 4 first-round picks or second-round picks through the next few seasons, Rodgers is definitely going to be the best guy we'll get. So take him. At the very least, you're not going to be worse off.
Okay, so basically the take is we can't get worse than we already are.
Yeah.
From Stan the Jets fan,
we
right?
can get worse. But in regards to quarterbacking, Rodgers is by far the best option right now. But as a Jets fan, trust me, I know we can get worse.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm gonna the reason I keep looking over here to the left is because my phone's over here and I just keep updating Twitter. I'm waiting on that. Some guy named Trey Wingo said the deal is done, but that's not really enough for me.
I've been reading a lot of stuff about Aaron Rodgers. According to some of these non-legit sources, actually, report Rodgers to Jets is done, according to Sports Illustrated.
Was that Trey Wingo or who?
This is Sports Illustrated. This was Bill Huber. This isn't Twitter. This is.
If that's the one from about 45 minutes ago, I saw that one too. I don't know if I trust that one.
It's about an hour. Signs are indeed pointing to Aaron Rodgers joining the Jets. It's Pro Football Talk from NBC. Then you have and then the Clutch Points, which I don't even know who Clutch Points is.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Ian Rappaport to break this, or someone this is a big story. This is something that I'm gonna wait for. I'm gonna keep going down, updating Twitter. We're gonna talk about some other free agent signings, though.
There was a signing that actually just did happen. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers, though. It looks like just now the Bears have signed Tremaine Edmonds, stealing them from the Bills.
Yeah, from the Bills.
That was about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, so.
And Jordan Poyer. Jordan Poyer's a free agent, too. The Bills' defense is falling apart.
Yeah, the Bills really thought that they could have a dynasty, and now they're losing everybody.
That should make you happy, Stan.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, Stan. Yeah, that could put you guys a little further up in the division.
I I'd be what?
I think this last season in the division, we competed with the rest of the division. We were not that far behind.
Absolutely.
There was, I think, 2 weeks, I believe, maybe 1 week, where we were at the top of this division. So I think getting a quarterback or just improving that quarterback position can make a big difference. And I'm ready to dethrone the Bills. I'm ready to put them back where they belong. Buffalo's a cold and harsh place. They need to get used to it.
And something I like about that deal, that Tremaine Edmonds deal, that's 4 years, $72 million, right? I think Roquan Smith is like something ridiculous. He got $100 million guaranteed.
$50 million guaranteed though. That's crazy though. Tremaine Edmonds got $50 million guaranteed. That's crazy.
The Bengals are only guaranteeing Jermaine Pratt, who Jermaine Pratt re-signed with the Bengals, 3 year, $21 million. That's $7 million a year. That is a steal for him.
You guys might have an issue right now because I know you guys are trying to sign Orlando Brown, if you haven't already. But I was reading a report earlier. That didn't happen yet. I feel like you would have told me. But
that's our issue.
The issue is that I just got a report from my dad who read something about a week ago from Jamar Chase saying that Jamar Chase said that if they sign T. Higgins, then no way would Jamar Chase return because Jamar Chase is going to ask for too much money. That was from Jamar because Jamar wants to be one of the top paid wide receivers. So I don't know. Yeah, so
if the Bengals sign T. Higgins, Jamar isn't returning?
In a sense, because Jamar Chase wants to be paid as a top wide receiver.
That sounds like, you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like some Pittsburgh news reporting trying to sham the Cincinnati Bengals. Because that goes against everything those boys have stood for, Chus. Your toxicity is seeping through your Patrick Star onesie.
No, I don't think so. Jamar Chase, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm telling you, you're going to be surprised. We got Bates might be coming back. I don't know. I didn't expect Von Bell to go to the Panthers. Now Jesse Bates might be coming back. We're definitely getting T back. Jamar's coming back. I ain't worried about them. You're trying to make me worried about things that aren't even problems yet.
Sorry, I'm reading about something.
Can you believe this, Stan? This is
Jamar
just the type
Chase's
of guy he is.
Ex-girlfriend claims to have evidence to end wide receiver's career. I was trying to find information on the article my dad was talking about.
That lady comes out with something like every year, and like she just posts the back of the head of like random guys that kind of look like Jamar, but never actually pictures of Jamar. And the last time she did it, she just used all the attention to promote her OnlyFans. I think this is the same woman. She'll eventually just delete her Instagram. Like that literally had no effect on me. I'm still worried more about the Joe Mixon news than I am about that.
I do have one thing. This escaped my mind earlier. I just now Googled it, and it is true. Lamar Jackson is still just kind of chilling out there. I think the Jets should go for him. I'm a big fan of stealing Lamar Jackson.
Whoa. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
That would be – you're going to just steal Lamar Jackson?
If we can't get Rodgers, I think that's the best situation.
Are you willing to – do you think the Jets should be willing to pay a fully guaranteed $250 million for this guy?
And 2 first-round picks.
And 2 first-round picks.
I would say so.
He's a non –
I think he's worth it because we know he's been one of the top quarterbacks in the league without having good wide receivers. Imagine if you have, the stacked wide receiver core that the Jets have. The only thing the Jets need to build on is get a good tight end in the building because Jackson had Mark Andrews for all those years. Get someone to kind of, give him a decent tight end, and I think this is going to be the best situation Lamar Jackson or the Jets will get if we can't get Rodgers. I still want Rodgers number one. But if we can't get him, I do think Lamar Jackson and then pick up maybe a tight end somewhere would be a great way to fix this offense. Plus, Lamar Jackson is really good in the pocket. So one of the things we had an issue with Wilson was getting sacked and not being able to escape pressure. Jackson is probably one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in recent years in the league at escaping pressure. So even without making any drastic changes to this O-line, now you have a guy who can deal with getting blitzed a lot, and in a division with the Dolphins who are pretty stacked right now, and the Bills, having a guy who can escape pressure is going to be really important. So I think Jackson's a great pick. I also think his playing style it will be a little bit different from what Wilson has been running the last few years. Lamar Jackson is a versatile player. He can play under many different conditions, and he's played under very different styles in college and in the league. So I think he could kind of fit into the Jets system, maybe move a few things around. But I think he's a great decision.
The Ravens just released Calais Campbell, though. And to me, that doesn't... Okay, I shouldn't say they just did. They did that earlier today. But that seems like a move that they're making to kind of clear up cap space for Lamar, I think.
Look, I've heard...
I wouldn't just release...
I've heard rumors that...
What have you heard?
I've heard rumors that Lamar Jackson might even be sitting out the season. I think when I Googled him last night, it was one of the first things that came up that he might be sitting out the season. And the Ravens at this point in time have still not committed to him. Lamar Jackson's a guy who knows how much he's worth. He knows that the Jets are going to treat him nicely. We're going to hug him. We're going to give him everything he needs to succeed. We're a much better home for him than the Ravens.
Stan, would you sign him if he sits out this season? Would you sign him next? Excuse me. Would you sign him next season if he sits out this season?
I probably would not want to sign him at $250, and I would not sign him for as much. I think right now I could see signing him for $250 because he's in good form. He's not in a bad situation. Missing out a season in the prime of his career is not the best thing a player can do. So if he does sit out this season, maybe I'd sign him, but probably not at $250 million.
The reason I ask is just because Le'Veon Bell did the same thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers and then sat out for the year and then went to the Jets. And I don't think he did anything.
Yeah, no, he was a completely different player. And that's kind of the fear I have with Lamar Jackson, specifically because with players in their prime, if you take a year off from playing against NFL defenses, if you miss the way the game evolves, even in 1 year, I think it could affect your development as a player. Lamar Jackson is not some old guy who has 3 years left. He has a very long career ahead of him if he plays his cards right. If he does sit out the season, I think his value drops somewhat drastically.
True.
Yes!
Chill out. You don't
No,
need to
guys. 260 boy is back in the house. Breaking. Oh, wait. Shoot, I read that wrong.
Good job, Josh. Good job. You read probably an ESPSN or something.
No.
So.
I don't like this. I'm happy for him, though. Falcons signed former Bengals safety Jesse Bates per Ian Rappaport. So I read it as Bengals sign Jesse Bates. I thought we got him back.
They're making room for Jamar.
Yeah, they got to make room for Jamar and T. Higgins.
No,
because the boys are staying together.
Well, yeah, they are staying together, but I think C.J. Gardner.
I still think Jamar Chase is, even if that article may or may not be true, I still think Jamar Chase is going to want so much money that you guys are going to have to trade T. Higgins.
Chus's dad is not a reporter.
Chus's dad did hear a bunch of things, though, so we can have him come on the show and talk about it if you want.
I'm heartbroken. I really was so hype about that with Jesse Bates, and now I'm like,
hey,
I probably blew out your guys' ears.
Yeah, you did over Jesse Bates signing with the Falcons.
Yeah, I lost my favorite wide receiver a few days ago. Braxton Berrios will be missed.
Yeah, Braxton Berrios. I'm sorry. Well, Jesse Bates is from the same town as me, so I was hoping. Since 2013, there has been a guy from my hometown on the Cincinnati Bengals, and that is now ended. But okay, we can move on from that. The Falcons have made moves though. They've got Jesse Bates. They've got they traded for Jonnu Smith. And they traded a 7th-round pick for the Patriots tight end, Jonnu Smith.
The Falcons have been doing stuff. That's crazy right now.
Falcons are making moves.
Yeah, Falcons also, they signed that Chris Lindstrom to an extension. They acquired Jonnu Smith. They just signed Jesse Bates. I feel like they're doing a lot of things to help them move.
Maybe Lamar Jackson, a little
Can
addition
I ask you
there?
guys a question? What do you guys
Sure.
think about Derek Carr, about his situation, and do you think that, especially with the Falcons beefing up and that situation looking a little bit tougher, you think Derek Carr's going to have a good season, or do you think he's going to flop?
I think he'll have a better season.
Well, yeah, I think he'll have a better season. Michael Thomas is presumably getting re-signed. I really don't think Derek Carr was the problem in Las Vegas this past season. I think he took a lot of the hits that should have been going to the coaching. Was he phenomenal? No, not by any means. But he did get them to the playoffs the season before, in a season that was riddled with political and HR issues, and his top receiver went to jail. I don't understand how you go from that to being one of the worst quarterbacks in the league and it had nothing to do with coaching, supposedly. I think Derek Carr should do better this season with the Saints. He's played with this coach before. This is actually the coach that drafted him. That's in New Orleans right now. So I'm hoping he does have a better season. I do feel bad for Jimmy Garoppolo, though, because he is with the Raiders now.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Since we're talking about the culture in Las Vegas, and since Jimmy G, he did well as a backup for New England and then goes over to the San Francisco 49ers and does some very legendary stuff there just to go to Las Vegas. If it is a culture problem, do you think we'll see an issue with Jimmy Garoppolo over in Las Vegas too? I think Jimmy Garoppolo, might not be able to shine as much as everybody's thinking he will.
Whoa.
So Raiders fans, don't get a little ahead of yourself here. Jimmy Garoppolo is a great signing, but on the way that Las Vegas is going, I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo to Devontae Adams is going to be. I mean, then again, Jimmy G is going to a similar team like structure.
Yeah,
you have like a Josh Jacobs, and then you have like a decent tight end being Darren Waller. So you have a very similar team in a way.
I am receiving texts from Stan the Jet fan. He wanted to know if we could wrap up the Jets portion of this show, which I think we have kind of, because Aaron Rodgers, it's not being confirmed at all so far, but we appreciate you stopping by to talk Jets and free agency with us, Stan. So if you want to head on out, feel free to, and we'll see you again some other time for Jets related news. What up?
Thanks for having me.
Yep. See you, Stan. I think there we go. Okay, I did let him out. I was afraid it wasn't going to let him out. He was going to be locked in the studio. Yeah, so I'm a little heartbroken now over my boy Jesse Bates moving on, but we'll get over that.
I think my pen's leaking.
Your pen. Well, now that we can move on from the Jets and
see, my pen's leaking. How did that happen? What? Throwing that away. Okay. That sucks.
Chus's pen is leaking, guys. Breaking news: Chus's pen is leaking.
Yeah, it leaked all over me.
So I called you, Chus, about these, but I'm gonna let you say on the air what you think, so that everyone at home who watches this YouTube channel can know. Yep. So we'll have Chus's toxic minutes here. First trade. Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins for a third-round pick and tight end Hunter Long. What do you think?
I don't think it was that. The problem that I have with this trade is that I feel like Jalen Ramsey, he hasn't played the same as he used to be, and I think going to Miami, it might either hurt or help them. I'm hoping that it helps them, because they are a very well-rounded team that hopefully will get some development there, because they're trying their hardest. I mean, they got Mike White as their backup. I mean, I don't think that's like huge, but I think that's big if Tua goes down with concussions or anything like that over next season. Tyreek, Jalen, they're in a very similar situation, kind of in a way to like they just need that little push. And I think, getting that Jalen Ramsey, I think, would help them. Did they get the tight end too, or did they trade the tight end?
No, the Rams get the tight end.
Okay, the Rams get the tight end. Well, I think that could help the Rams because I think the Rams are struggling a little bit on the tight end spot. I was going to say, I don't really think it would help the Dolphins as much because they still have Gesicki, who gritties in the end zone occasionally when he scores that touchdown.
Well, he's maybe on the move too.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, but I guess we'll wait and see. But I think it would be kind of foolish to let him go because I don't even know who Miami's backup would be. But
real quick before we move on to the next trade that I know Chus hated because he ranted for like 3 minutes about it on the phone with me.
Yes.
Jesse Bates' contract just came through. It's a 4-year, $64 million deal per Ian Rappaport. So he got his bag that he wanted. I wish him the best of luck. Next one is DJ Moore to the Bears, and the Bears got. Let's see.
I thought the DJ Moore trade was a part of that humongous trade.
Mm-hmm. He was. So the Bears gave the Panthers the first overall pick for the 9th overall pick this year, a second-round selection in 2023. Number 61 overall, originally from the 49ers. A first-round pick in 2024, a second-round pick in 2025, and DJ Moore. All that for the first-round pick. What do you think?
Awful. That was awful. It's awful. You're giving away like so much of your future trade picks in the next couple of years to just try to draft, a quarterback, I'm guessing? They're going to go out of their way to draft Anthony Richardson, who I don't believe is NFL material just yet. I think that he has potential to be a very, very solid quarterback, but he is only a sophomore. He played one season and had 17 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Yes, I get that you might want to throw him into the league a little early so he can get developed, but I just don't think it's a good move. I just don't think it's a good move to put him in a starting position just yet. He's so young. I would try to go for Stroud or Young if you're going that big, but even then, it's not even like any of these draft picks are like, it's not like any of these quarterbacks are like generational, more or less. It's not like you're getting like a Joe Burrow or you're getting a Patrick Mahomes potential player coming out of the draft. Like for this first overall pick, it's just kind of like who's going to go number 1 overall. Who knows? We don't know who could it be. We just don't really know anything. So I think it's a really bad trade because not only did they trade away their first round pick this year, which, obviously you trade up, so you kind of have to, but they also traded away their first round pick next year and their second round pick this year and their second round pick in 2025 and DJ Moore, who's like one of the only wide receivers in Carolina. So obviously they have other wide receivers, Josh. I know you're probably going to say, but listen.
Laviska Shenault Jr.
Yeah, literally, I have nothing against the Carolina wide receivers, but it's not like they have any stud wide receivers that stick out. When I think of Carolina, I definitely think of DJ Moore being one of the top wide receivers. And even then, I don't think that helps Chicago because DJ Moore is so inconsistent on the field that I don't even think he would do that well in Chicago, who's already inconsistent to begin with. So it's just a mess.
So the Bears now have Equimanius St. Brown, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool. Are those your starting wide receivers?
I guess, yeah. Those would be your starting wide receivers. Unless they bench Claypool or try to get rid of or if they try to flip DJ Moore or move St. Brown to the Detroit Lions. Just to,
that'd be cool. The two brothers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think I know that they wouldn't, but that would be kind of neat.
Two brothers hanging out, just playing football. Having Jared Goff throw to him.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It really would be.
I really thought that as soon as Stan left, the Aaron Rodgers news was going to come through. Whoa. Yeah, it's been a rough hour for Bengals fans. Patrick Peterson, all he was doing all afternoon was retweeting stuff about him coming to the Bengals. Retweeting, hey, I really want to go and be with the Bengals. He was saying that. Guess where he ended up?
Where did he end up?
Pittsburgh.
Really?
Ian Rappaport just tweeted, source, the Steelers are signing Pro Bowl cornerback Patrick Peterson. A surprise, a perennial star headed to a historic franchise to beef up their back end. My man gaslit an entire NFL fan base and then went to literally the worst possible place he could have.
Or, in my opinion, the best. Honestly, you said Ian Rappaport
Yeah.
did this? Did he just tweet this? I didn't see this.
Yeah, 2 minutes. This came through 2 minutes ago.
Oh, shoot. Well,
You got
Patrick Peterson, welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers, my friend.
No, you're not. He's not. He's off my list. I don't like him. He's done.
Yeah, but what would you have done if Tyler Eifert or one of your Jesse Bates or something? Like, let's say we needed Jesse Bates and he signed with the Steelers. How would you have felt? Hometown boy, would you have hated him then?
He wouldn't have done that. He's not that type of guy.
I'm sure last week if I would have said Patrick Peterson would have signed with the Steelers, you would have been like, no, he said he wants to be a Bengal forever and ever. And
Well, he's been tweeting all afternoon. Literally, Mike Hilton, Jermaine Pratt, all these guys. He just keeps retweeting about how like he wanted to be with the Bengals. He wanted a chance at a championship. And then he signed with you guys. Can you reasonably tell me that the Steelers in the next 3 years are going to make it to a Super Bowl?
anything can happen.
That's no. That is a no.
But no, anything can happen. Literally, you develop the players a little bit, and Kenny Pickett just starts lighting up with George Pickens. Like, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson isn't that bad. And then if we get, like, a decent third wide receiver, who, honestly, like, a lot of our other wide receivers haven't been that bad. It's just been, like, a little, Najee Harris. He's coming off that ankle injury. He's doing a lot better now. I feel like our team has a lot of potential. I mean, we finished 9-8 this season with Kenny Pickett under start. It wasn't like we did terrible. I think once Matt Canada's contract's over, I think maybe we'll be able to make a little bit more baller offensive coordinating moves. But I don't think we'll be bad. I think we might even be in the playoffs next year. So I think we'll go 10-7. So because there's some easily winnable games that we had last season.
Okay.
And last season we had a very difficult schedule. We could have beaten Miami. We could have beaten the Patriots. And
you did beat us. So
yeah, and we even beat you with Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, we beat you with Mitchell Trubisky.
Calm down. Calm down.
But we could have won that.
We beat you with Kenny Pickett. So, Jared Stidham, he was a Raiders quarterback. He's going to the Broncos. I'm just getting some of these lesser news stories out. Case Keenum to Texans on a 2-year deal. Who knows where Bryce Young's going to end up at this point. And then Javon Hergave is going from Eagles to 49ers. So the Eagles' defense is falling apart.
Eagles, yeah. I'm also trying to figure out where Gardner Minshew is going to go because Minshew was originally supposed to be the backup in Miami, but now it's Mike White. So,
well, and where's Teddy Bridgewater going to go?
That's another thing. Where's he going to go? And we all obviously know that Seattle's holding on to Geno, but makes you wonder where some of these other guys are going to go.
And I cannot wait for Jamar Chase to burn Patrick Peterson.
Well, we'll wait and see if that happens. Maybe Jamar Chase will be hurt when that game happens.
Don't wish that upon him.
I'm not wishing. I'm just saying. I mean, he could be hurt for all I know. I mean, the last game we played against him, the most recent one on November 20th, he wasn't even there. True. So I'm not saying it as a I wish that Jamar Chase would tear his ACL and never play football again. No, I don't say that. I would never say that about anybody. I actually have no respect for the hockey side of New York fans. So Stan's not here for this. I actually don't have respect for them because we were playing the Rangers on Tuesday, and one of the guys literally said, F. Chris Letang, I wish that he would have died when he had his second stroke.
Well, that's messed up.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a happy show.
Yeah. So
that's why you're dressed up as Patrick from SpongeBob.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't Tuesday. It was Saturday. It was this weekend. This past weekend. But Sunday.
I think you're gonna love this rumor.
Okay.
Panthers coach Frank Reich loves Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson, and he may be their top pick, according to a rumor shared by Peter King.
You said this is the Panthers?
Yeah, with the number 1 overall pick. And then
I just don't believe that's – I think Will Levis might even be better than Anthony Richardson at this moment in time. Like I said before, I don't think Anthony Richardson is ready just yet. I think if they put him in, I think Carolina would be a very bad move on Carolina's part to start Anthony Richardson this coming season. I think they should sign at that point. If they're going to try to draft Anthony Richardson, they should go full throttle and try to get like a Teddy Bridgewater or a Gardner Minshew or somebody just to start the season. And then put him in, Anthony Richardson, and maybe halfway through the year or next year, maybe when he's a little bit more developed. I don't know if he's, I don't, it's not that I'm not confident in him, but I want him to prove me wrong. But
I'm looking through some stuff. Let's figure some of this out. What's going on? Austin Eckler wants to seek a trade, by the way. That seems like it's a pretty big news story.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
would you? I would probably request a trade if I freaking couldn't. You guys aren't even like the LA Chargers make playoffs and they lose in the first round. Like, I would want to go somewhere else.
I know I say this about literally every possible free agent, but I'm going to do it again. And I think it's possible. I think this one's actually kind of reasonable if you move some things around. Austin Eckler to the Bengals. Make it happen. I have loved Austin Eckler.
Derek Henry to the Bengals too.
No. I would rather have Austin than Derek.
Okay.
I have Austin has been one of my favorite players, one of my favorite non-Bengals players for a long time. I follow him on Instagram. He's always been really good to the fans. He gives away a free signed jersey to one or two a week to people who win with him on their fantasy team. He genuinely cares about his fan base, I feel like, and it makes me really enjoy watching him play, even though he's not on the Bengals. So if he were to come to the Bengals, that would make it even more exciting, because then I would be able to root for him as a Bengal, and that would make me so happy. So the two free agents, well, Eckler's not a free agent, but the two guys I would love for the Bengals to get this offseason are Austin Eckler and CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Okay. Okay.
I
did find the article that my dad was talking about, not necessarily saying Jamar Chase wants to be paid top high, but Jamar Chase doesn't know how the Bengals will keep him and T. Higgins under contract. Even
Who said that?
Bleacher Report.
Who?
Joseph Zucker from Bleacher Report on February 9th said Jamar Chase doesn't know how Bengals will keep him, T. Higgins under contract. Even Jamar Chase doesn't know. Somebody later down the line is going to have to do something for us to have this team stay together. The two-time Pro Bowler added, I really don't know, when questioned how Cincinnati can retain both of its star wideouts. Bengals may soon face a difficult decision regarding the core of their aerial attack. And then it just goes into a bunch of details about stuff, blah, 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 blah. Chase, yeah, it would be nice for T to be on the same side with me still as long as we can go, Chase said to US Today's Sydney Henderson. Somebody later down the line is going to have to do something for us to have this team to stay together. So your boy Joe Burrow is going to have to take a cut.
I've said this from the beginning. I think Joe would do it. I think Joe would take a cut to pay Jamar and T.
I mean, the only problem is right now Joe Burrow, according to other news things that I read, and I'm sure you did too, Joe Burrow's is supposed to be it could be a record-breaking contract.
It could be.
That's kind of terrifying for the future of the two wide receivers, because you might only be able to keep one or the other. And in my opinion, I would try to keep Chase over T, just because Chase is a beast, and if you trade T right now, you could probably get maybe a first-round pick for him because of how good he is.
And I mean, the key word though in that sentence is could. It could be, and it should be probably, but will it be? Or will Joe say,
yeah.
Or will Joe say, hey, no, actually, I want to keep these guys. We've been dominant. Let's keep T and Jamar around as long as they remain dominant. I think the one guy we might lose through all of this, and it's going to suck, but he'll be older at the time, is Tyler Boyd.
It might be unfortunate, yeah.
He's been the guy for... Well, he's 2016 rookie, so however many years that's been. But, that if that means we get to keep T and Jamar are both still as productive as they are now, I think that's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said, but also, if the only reason it's brought up is just because Jamar Chase is unsure of how it's going to happen. So obviously, nothing has been really set in stone that Joe Burrow or anybody's going to take a pay cut. So just a little uncertainty. Prepare for the worst, Josh Butts. It could be a rough ride for a little bit, but there's a lot of hope in Cincinnati. There's also a lot of hope in Pittsburgh too.
Now people are just tweeting. People saying Aaron Rodgers, future Minnesota Viking. They're just people are just tweeting stuff at this point because no one knows what's going on.
I think Aaron Rodgers would make a great addition to the XFL's Seattle Vipers, who I don't even think play anymore. Actually,
isn't that the team Josh Gordon's on?
Seattle Vipers.
That's the team Josh Gordon's on, isn't it?
Oh no, they're the Seattle Sea Dragons. And the Vegas Vipers. I thought they were the Seattle Vipers. Yeah, I thought the Seattle Vipers were actually a team. I think it was from the OG. Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers should just bag the idea. And I think he would make a great addition to Pittsburgh.
Aaron Rodgers?
I think Aaron Rodgers should come to Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Maulers. I think he would make a great addition to the Pittsburgh Maulers. You see a USFL team. I think he would be great. They just changed their colors back to black and yellow instead of purple and orange. And I think the Pittsburgh Maulers at Canton, Ohio, I think Aaron Rodgers would do great.
Now people are saying Lamar Jackson to the Buccaneers, maybe. This is why this is why I love. They're don't give up on Lamar to the. No, Elijah Moore just tweeted this emoji. My man, he's just out here. Oh, man. I love free agency. When you said this morning that you were sick and we couldn't do the free agency episode, I was like, dang. Especially when I started reading the news reports. But you rallied. Yeah,
but the problem was whenever I woke up this morning, I forgot that free agency was starting. So I was just I can't record today. I'm sick. And then I was as news was popping up, I was oh no, I got to talk about this stuff. So I pound a bunch of cough medicine, and then I waited a couple hours, and right around 2 or 3 when I texted you, I was yo, I'm starting to feel better. Let's get on the show. Let's get on and record. So
that was for you, Chus. You rallied. You popped them cough drops. You wore your Patrick Star onesie. And we got to put out some news. That's right. What a guy.
Thank you.
We got to see my live reaction to Jesse Bates leaving the Bengals.
That was actually really funny. I think you should put that on a YouTube short. I really think that would be funny. Bengals fan dies inside once realizing Jesse Bates didn't actually sign with the Bengals. It would be a good YouTube short, and I actually can't see your video right now. I think you bugged out, so I have no idea how you're reacting right now, but
I'm smiling. Okay. Well, we're coming up on the hour here. It's not looking like there's going to be much more. As soon as we end this, though,
Aaron Rodgers is going to be
It's going to be Aaron Rodgers to probably the Chiefs or some random team. I saw a Twitter post and it was what is the most Aaron Rodgers way this saga could end? And the only thing I could think of is him playing backup for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, maybe.
Like him just being like, you know what? I'm just gonna go chill on the bench.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
But
I guess we'll see. I guess depending on how many signings are happening, we might have to record tomorrow too.
Jamel Dean plans to sign with the Bucks. I don't know who that is, but apparently it's a big deal. Okay, well, thank you for listening to today's show. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We can be found anywhere in the world, but mainly where you listen to podcasts, and on YouTube at No Butts Show. Our social media pages are NoButts_show on Instagram, No Butts Show on TikTok. My Twitter is Josh_Butts_2001. And if you would like to reach us, you can email us at bullmoosepodcast2. That's the number 2 at gmail.com. Finally, our spread shop will be in the description. I made these little stickers of Chus screaming, "Let somebody cook." He screamed that a few episodes ago, and those are like the cheapest thing in the shop. So if you want to help us promote the show, go ahead. I ordered stuff from our merch shop, and it came really fast, except it's in Steubenville, Ohio, and I'm not in Steubenville, Ohio. But I got the notification, so it came really quickly. I'm really happy with that. So I'll put the link to our spread shop, our merch shop, in the description. So make sure to check that out. Once again, if you enjoyed today's show, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.